Welcome to the Whisky Show 2024. Now, this video isn't going to be a look around the show floor. It's going to be a look around the shop floor. What always strikes me about the Whisky Show is there are people who are so dedicated. They will queue up hours before the doors open and they will always rush to the front of the shop queue. And what is that, you say? It sounds like madness. Well, this is not just any whiskey shop. It's not just the Whiskey Exchange on tour. Each year there are a bunch of different show exclusives, both from the Whiskey Exchange and a number of other different whiskey brands as well. So join me as we have a tour of the shop here at the Whisky Show and have another chat with Alex, the shop's manager at the Whiskey Exchange, to talk about some of the show exclusives you can expect this year. Let's go. So the doors have been open for just a few minutes, and as you can see behind me, the queue is already trailing back round to the entrance. So why would you queue up? As I said before, like I said, there's a bunch of different show exclusives that people want to make sure that they can secure. So we're going to speak to Alex, the shop manager for the Whiskey Exchange, and find out exactly what there is on offer in the shop that is exclusive to the Whisky Show this year. We've got a lot of bottles in front of us.
You're not wrong, but what we have here is actually not so many as you would think, because these three, and these three are actually all the same whiskies. Okay, what we're doing here, which is wonderful, I think, so we're trying to celebrate the people from the Whiskey Exchange and what they're doing. So actually these three are a fabulous 10-year-old Ben Nevis. It's really lovely, but we've got three different faces, some of whom you might recognize.
Exactly. The viewers of the video, I think there's definitely one that you might recognize. Okay, what else
so we have
got?
this lovely Ben Nevis at 60%. It's a sherry cask, absolutely wonderful. I tried it for the first time just now, after my face had gone on it, so I was very pleased that it was delicious.
Okay,
but we
unpeated?
Yes, unpeated sherry cask, really lovely.
Nice.
60%, 60.1. So it's a powerful thing. Drop of water does it no harm whatsoever. We've got a really lovely Kalina, 15-year-old Kalina here, which is what you would expect, a nice mature Kalina, lovely bit of smoke in there, but that lovely coastal aspect going on, seashells and oysters, really beautiful.
Nice.
And then a beautiful 12-year-old, very fruity Dal Ewan. And again, you know, all of these labels sort of expressing people within the Whiskey Exchange, showing people from all different parts of it, from the shops to the buying team, to PR, to everything, just to kind of showcase what we do.
That's not the end of it, right?
It certainly isn't, yeah. So we've got some exclusives for the show. So we've got a single IPA, ex-IPA cask from Filey Bay, beautiful, floral, fruity, as you would expect from Filey Bay in an IPA cask. Yeah. Really lovely stuff. I think this is wonderful.
I tried this a little bit earlier, it's really interesting. It's a marmalade IPA cask, it was described as. I'm not a huge beer drinker, so I was like, okay, all right. But
beer is just unfinished whiskey, really, let's be honest.
Exactly. And then, of course, we've got the Signatory.
Classic from Signatory, the Speyside M.
Yeah.
That's M for something. Lovely, big, rich, sherry cask. Everything you would expect from an 18-year-old M.
A frankly remarkable 61.2% after 18 years.
After 18
in the cask.
years. Yeah.
Something about this tells me it probably wasn't filled at 63.5%.
I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe it was just in a very warm, dry part of the warehouse, but no, I think you're probably right. I think that's straight from the still.
Amazing. And then something from Decadent Drinks.
From Decadent Drinks, so a lovely 00, Old Orkney. It's absolutely fantastic stuff from an Orkney distillery. You know, that absolute classic. It's kind of refilled bourbon, unless I'm very much mistaken. But and if it isn't, it's all about the spirit. It's that kind of lovely heathery smoke, very elegant, just lots and lots going on there. Really beautiful stuff.
I haven't had the chance to try this one yet, but definitely very high up on my list.
Highly recommend.
The distillery on Orkney, which is not Scapa, is one of my favorites, as I think people know. And yeah, It's a really interesting label to start with. I looked at this for a hot second and I was like, oh, have you got a non-alcoholic whiskey? When it's like, I was like 0.0. I was like,
yeah. Non-alcoholic whiskey. No, unfortunately, or more fortunately, I would say, we're not branching out into non-alcoholic whiskey yet.
55.8, definitely not 0.0. And then finally, something from another fine independent bottler, Thompson Brothers.
Absolutely, the Thompson Brothers. So this is another one of their Sutherland blends that they've done. I mean, I just tried this upstairs. It's absolutely fantastic. You know, 2 different single malts going in there.
Yeah.
One is the Dornoch, obviously, and the other is the Klein Niche, one of my 2 favourite distilleries. It's wonderful.
I have noticed in the shop as well, obviously for the collectors, the connoisseurs, there are some pretty high-end things in there. So it's all right if we have a peek behind the curtain as well.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Alex, a pleasure as always. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Take care.
So, wandering around the back room of the shop, it's not hard to immediately find some really interesting and high-end drams. Up here at 1988 Highland Park, I know that goes, I think, for a little over £2,000. 41-year-old Talisker Bodega series, I know that goes for a similar amount of money as well. Talisker 30, I think, is at least £1,000 now as well. And then the Bmore 29 Timeless. So up here alone, you've got at least £5,000 worth of whiskey just on that one shelf. And then I think this is, an exclusive 31-year-old Lagavulin cask selected by Sukinder when he still worked at the Whiskey Exchange. Again, another exceptional whiskey. And then as well, I'm really hoping that we get the chance to try this one later. The 36-year-old refill sherry butt, the Russell family cask from Glengoyne. This one is £3,500 of the bottle. We saw that up in the Glengoyne shop a little while ago. There's a lot of world whiskey here as well, bourbons too, Wireworks from obviously the English distilleries as well. Moving around here, this is an interesting one, just £45. The Old Perth Double Sherry Wood, brand new release. I think this is one of the first, if not the first place you'll be able to pick it up. More high-end bottles up the top as well. The Macallan M Copper, the Glenturret 25 and 30, Dalmore 40, the Freud 36, Porterscay 45, the new Glenfiddich Grand Chateau 31. This is a £1,600 whiskey, again just released in the last week or so. 33-year-old Cutty Sark, 32-year-old Rosebank, 40-year-old Fessacan. I mean, I would need to get my calculator out to add some of these incredible drams and how much they would cost you. There is an unbelievable amount here as well. Moving around here as well, you got some more independent bottlers, Ferg and Harris, a bunch of old Glenfarclasses, a 1969 family cask amongst them as well. Balvenie 25 and 30, Macallan 25, Highland Park 30. I mean, the list goes on. It's a veritable treasure trove in here of incredible different whiskies. A bunch of Adelphis, Tamdus, Tommintowls, Glencadams. I wouldn't even know where to start, really. And then moving around here to the last bit, this is interesting. We've got the brand new Bmore range. I didn't even think these were on sale yet. So this is almost certainly the first place that you could get your hands on them as well. What I also like as well is most, if not all, of the Dream Drams are available here. The Craigellachie 37 too, incredible Bunnahabhains, a 1990 Oloroso sherry butt just lurking on a shelf, even though that's about £2,000 a bottle as well. I would, like being on the show floor. Where do you even start with some of these incredible whiskies? Obviously, the show bottlings are there, but just a myriad of whiskies available here from English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh distilleries, you name it. It doesn't really matter what you like. There is something for every person, every price range here. And obviously the shop is open for the entirety of the show as well. After the first few hours, it does tend to quieten down. It will hold your bottles to the end of the day as well. So, perfect place after you tried a few drams to then come and pick up a bottle of whatever it is you thought was your favorite at the show. Amazing.